Don't get lost. Yes, that is the name of our next episode in the Dan Education series. Stay watching. Getting lost at sea is probably one of the most scary possibilities. In fact, in a poll of divers listing the things that they feared the most, being lost at sea was one of the worst. And rightly so. And what we want to address in this episode of the Dan Education series is how you can minimize getting lost at sea and what you might do to actively be found. Now, fortunately, it doesn't happen very often for people to get lost at sea, but it can happen. Why would it happen? Well, there's several reasons for this. Sometimes it's the dive crew that just forget, or they don't have administrative procedures that keep track of divers' movements on and off the boat. Surface currents may make it very difficult to get back to shore, or unattended boats, skippers may actually miss out on seeing divers that are drifting in the wrong direction. Too much weight or poor physical condition might make it difficult to get back to the exit point, and even slight waves or little current may make it difficult to do so. Surfacing too far from the boat or from shore due to underwater currents or poor navigation skills may add to this. Emergencies such as running out of air or equipment problems may make divers surface more quickly than expected and not necessarily attract the attention of the dive crew. Technical divers are another group because their dives are usually fairly lengthy, and it may therefore be possible for skippers to not be aware of these divers surfacing. Adverse weather conditions may make it difficult. Dark weather, darkness, rain, all these things, high waves, may contribute to divers getting lost. So here's the big thing. How do we prevent it? What could you do to prevent the chances of you getting lost? Well, remember that it's easier for you to see the boat and the shore than for the boat or the shore to see you. And so it's very important for you to make sure that you are able to be oriented to your environment as best as possible. And remember, you're supposed to be diving with your buddy, so at least you should have them in very close sight and proximity to you. It's important that one also increases one's visibility as best you can, and there is some safety equipment that may assist with this. Now, some tips in terms of visual aids as far as being found at sea. Colored or reflective equipment are always the best. Fluorescent green or green yellow, fluorescent orange, these are the most visible colors, as well as bright yellow, green, and orange. And all of them will increase your visibility and safety. The more the contrast between you and the surface of the sea, the easier it is to be spotted. The use of solars or reflectors may also increase visibility. And in fact, some manufacturers already build in these solars stripes into equipment, and buoyancy compensators, dive hoods, and dive suits already have them. Surface marker buoys may add to the ease with which one can be found, but they may be small, and you may surface somewhere other than where the surface marker buoy is. And if that's the case, you may need to make use of a delayed surface marker buoy, otherwise known as a safety sausage. This device is inflated once reaching the surface, and it sticks out much higher than a surface marker buoy, making it easier to be found, especially if there are attachments such as strobe lights, light sticks, or other lighting devices. Another small number of available delayed surface marker buoys and small safety kits may also very easily be packed into your BCD when you dive, and they may include a whistle, a light stick, or a signaling mirror. Now, a signaling mirror may seem small, but when it reflects sunlight, it can attract the attention of persons on boats or on shore much easily, or much more easily than you would expect. And even helicopters and airplanes can see these more easily. The same with dive lights, strobe lights, and flashes. They become very useful at night to show a diver's position. And then there's a rescue streamer. This is a continuous visual surfacing piece of equipment which is actually surrounds the diver and is typically bright orange, high density polyethylene foil. From the air, people are even able to spot swimmers or divers in the water from 2 kilometers away with rescue streamers. And they come in different sizes, which would add to their visibility, and some have the Solar's grade reflectors built into them. Chemical lights, always useful. Whistle, carry it with you. It lasts much longer than your voice would be able to, especially if needing to shout. And if you do get a whistle, get the whistles without the P's or without the little dongle inside, because a straightforward whistle is much easier to hear. There are devices like the Dive Alert or air horn, which is an acoustic device which aids in a similar way to a whistle. But it's something that needs to be carried with you and then attached to your dive cylinder. And if you have air in your cylinder, which hopefully you do have, these can be incredibly effective devices to make a racket that dive skippers are hopefully going to notice. There's a whole host of information on radios, satellite phones, and other devices that would make it easier for you to be found. There's the Nautilus Lifeline and other pressure-resistant housing that can be considered to aid your ability to be found. And it's important that you explore all the possibilities in the area that you're diving. It should be part of your emergency assistance plan, and it should always be discussed as part of a dive briefing. That ends this episode of Dive Education, or the Dan Education channel. We hope you found it useful, and we hope you'll apply this advice. You'll join us on Twitter, on Facebook, and other social media, and of course subscribe to our channel that you don't miss out on the next episode of Dan Education.